Mr. Fuller, what is on your mind this day, or what you would like to express to the listeners before we commence with the entire program?
Well, I wake up every morning thinking about the entire system of what we call, what, according to what I have written and what I think about, is the world government and how it affects everybody who is on the planet Earth. And I call it the world government, and all of its effects in all of the areas of activity, how that world government affects how people think, speak, and act in economics, in education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. And, of course, some people say health. And the system of the world government that we have affects people in the area of health, who gets it, who will be healthy and who will not be healthy, and what health is. The definition of words, very important in any language, what the definitions of those words are in any language, and particularly in the English language, and how, like words, do motivate people to think in certain ways. That's why we go to what we call schools all over the world. People say, well, I'm trying to get in position to see to it that I get an education. And how do you get an education? Meaning, and what is it? It's learning. Learning about what? All the things that you need to know. That's what education is. Everything that you need to know. You need to be learned it from someone. That's what all schools are set up for, universities, etc. And the universe itself is a university, which you learn. You learn something, should be trying to learn something every day. So I always wake up with the broad view of the world that we're in and what we're supposed to be. When I say we, I mean everybody on the planet. What everybody on the planet is supposed to wake up in the morning thinking about and go to bed at night thinking about.
In his characteristically calm and analytical style, Neely Fuller Jr. begins this powerful talk by examining how the system of white supremacy operates as a world government. Fuller states that he approaches all his thinking by assessing the global impact of white supremacy across what he defines as the 9 major areas of human activity: economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. To these, he adds health, emphasizing that this global system not only affects how we work and worship, but also how we eat, heal, and die. Fuller insists that this system shapes every part of human existence and steers how people think, act, and live, proving that white supremacy is not simply a social issue, but a world-controlling government in its own right. Fuller urges listeners to reconsider the purpose of education, not merely to gather facts, but to equip us to solve real problems. True education, he says, must give us the tools to analyze the world and correct the injustices within it. This includes reflecting daily on the questions: why are we here and what are we supposed to be doing? Without answering these questions, individuals remain trapped in confusion and misdirection. Fuller maintains that any system of education that does not prepare people to solve the most pressing issue on the planet, white supremacy, is a system of miseducation.
Thinking about what? Why we're here. We're here apparently for some purpose, because we do things, and what is it we're supposed to be doing is better than other things that we are doing, and try to improve on the things that we are doing using the time and energy, we, meaning all of the people on the planet who are here. So basically, I always try to stay focused on we are here to solve problems. And how do I come to that conclusion? Because we have problems. So you just keep asking yourself that question. Why are people here on the planet Earth? We're here for a purpose. And some people say, they have their different views of why we're here through the various religious voices that we have. But then what is religion? Religion is just simply how you think about why we're here. That's any religion, why we're here, and how we're supposed to be going about using the time and energy that we are given while we're here. So it's just a word that you say, how do you use your time and energy? It's the same as economics or education. What do you use it for? Many people who swear by their individual religions will say, well, we're here to do the things that our religions require us to do. But when you look at what religion requires people to do, you come to the conclusion that if people are in action, they're either doing something that should be done or they're doing something that shouldn't be done according to their individual religions. But it all comes under the umbrella of problem solving. So everybody's here, you can conclude, without making anybody angry, I guess, here to solve problems. What problems? The ones that are right in front of you. And that's something people should wake up in the morning thinking about. Problem solving. Mm-hmm. And so we have, that's getting back to the premise, we have a world government. That world government is called the system of white supremacy, if you're willing to tell the truth. That's the most powerful government in recorded history. And what is white supremacy? It's white people mistreating people who they classify as non-white and dominating those people. Dominating and mistreating. Those are the two major elements in white supremacy. So the question is raised, is that the kind of government and the kind of problem, or is it a problem, that we should be focused on? And the logical conclusion is yes. And so you say, well, we're trying to get rid of it, and we sometimes call it white culture versus black culture. So then you got other definitions that you have to search for these terms. What is white culture? Well, white culture is simply white supremacy. And what is non-white culture or black culture that we talk about? Black culture in the system of white supremacy is a reaction to the system of white supremacy, since that's the most powerful culture. Black culture is not the most powerful culture. White supremacy is the most powerful culture. And black culture is subject to the system of white supremacy. So then all of black culture is just a reaction to the system of white supremacy. Truth be told, logically speaking. So what we want to do is replace the system of white supremacy, not with black culture, but with a whole new culture called justice. And what is justice? Guaranteeing that no one is mistreated and guaranteeing that the person that needs help the most gets the most constructive help. And that should figure into anybody's religion, anybody's educational system, anybody's culture, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I woke up this morning thinking about the broad view and also the current event view, the shootings. Now, that's a part of white culture. In July of 2022, we had a day yesterday, July the 4th, 2022 celebrating a part of white culture, which is what? Shooting. And people went out and bought what they call fireworks to imitate what? The sound of gunfire. And they had some fireworks, that imitated the sound of gunfire. Mm-hmm. And they had some fireworks that was real gunfire. And they call it active shooters. Well, I don't know how shooters can be shooters without being active, but that's the that first word they put in front of shooter. That's to give it emphasis, I guess. All shooters are active. And so mass shooters, active shooters, they're shooting, and people are falling down, and some of them are dead, and some of them are in pretty bad shape and will be that for a long time. And that's a part of what? White culture, the glorification of violence, particularly through the instruments that do shooting. Mm-hmm. And so what sets people's minds to that? And that's what I'm thinking about. And do these things make problems? The answer is yes. But when you glorify problem making, what you put out is what you get. And so we need a counter system for that. And that's what a system of justice would do for everybody.
Yes, sir.
So you got to codify that. Now, that's what I've been thinking about. Now we can take calls, and people can tell me whatever they're thinking about in any of those areas of activity: economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war, and the problems we're having. And the main thing for this program is not just keep going around in a circle talking about the problems, but solutions, constructive results in everything that we think, say, and do every day. Mm-hmm. Because if you get a constructive result, you're working against the system of racism, and you're promoting justice. Every time you do anything that produces a constructive result.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me interrupt here for a serious matter here. For everybody, chat room and callers, there's a problem that I think is going to happen in the next 10 to 15 minutes where you may be disconnected. Something has gone wrong in there. But if you are disconnected, chatters and those that are on hold and so forth are listening to the program, just go back to the website and reconnect with the new link, and you'll be back on. Now, that's what I was just told, that I don't know all the details, but if Mr. Fuller and myself are cut off, just go back to the website and get connected to the new the link that is on there. Okay. So let's move on. All right, thank you, Mr. Fuller, for the thoughts and expressions that you have there. And while we're here, let's go to New York and let's go to Darnell. Darnell, you're on with Mr. Fuller. What is your question as we try to get you in? There you go, as we try to get you in here. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Bobby. Good morning, Mr. Fuller.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
There was an incident that happened in, I believe, Ohio, where a victim of racism was murdered by law enforcement.
Yes, sir.
I think it was his last name was Mr. Walker. I want to ask Mr. Fuller, why should the victims of white supremacy notice that he violated the 3 stops? Don't fuss, don't fight, don't flee, and why the cause and effect happened the way it happened. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Fuller.
White culture in the system of white supremacy teaches that a fleeing black person, first of all, black person told to stop. or it's implied in a situation where a black person obeys what a white person tells them to do, is a part of white culture. So, and the scenario is that black person is really not a person. That black person is an animal. So when you have a bear in your backyard, a monkey in your backyard, you get your gun in white culture. And you say, get out of my yard, or either stay where you are and let me examine you and see what you're up to out here in my yard, rummaging in the trash and trying to do whatever you're doing, because you're always doing something, if you are a black person, that you shouldn't be doing, and let me investigate you, find out what you're doing, because everything that you do that I didn't tell you to do is something that you shouldn't be doing, regardless of what it is. So you're an animal. I'm taught that. You're just another one of the animals, and you used to be called 3/5 of a person, whatever that means. Just, something's kind of similar to a person, but really not a person. You're just some type of, what is that thing coming down the street? A thing, a target for my shotgun or my rifle or my pistol. So when that is put into your mind in school and in everyday existence, and when people start talking about history, they talk about these savages and whatnot, these animals. In Godfather 1, in the movies, they say, well, hey, we'll give drugs to those black people in their neighborhoods. We won't have it in our neighborhoods if we watch closely. Give it to the coloreds up there in Harlem. They're nothing but animals anyway. Who cares what happens to them? So in answer to your question, that's it. So when that animal is shot 1 time, 2 times, 60 times, so what? I told the animal to stop. Now, this is a special type of animal. That animal knows what stop means. But it took off running. When a white person tells a black person to stop, that's what that means. And that's going to continue to mean that until the end of white supremacy. So what else is new? But people are not teaching black people that. You bet not run. Don't you even think about running. They can run you as long as you can find something to step on. There ain't no way for you to get away from them. You can't go to another planet because they already got that sold up too. So where are you running to? It's not what you're running from. Mm-hmm. And the code says don't fight, don't 3 F's, don't fuss, don't fight, don't flee. Talking about solutions now. That's the only solution you have, black person. But some black people have said, well, they'll kill you anyway. Well, they kill animals anyway. So what? You got to find out what kind of world you're in. If you're black, if you have black skin, it's not like you think it is. Nowhere close. You're an animal. Even when people pet you and smile in your face and put their arms around you and even kiss you and get in bed with you, you're still an animal. I'm in bed with an animal. When you see yourself in the eyes of the white supremacists, which is the only government on the planet Earth in 2022, then you can expect what will happen. But black people say, well, I don't look at myself as an animal. You better when you're around white people. That's what they see. They don't see you as a human being. You are an animal, a nice animal, a belligerent animal. You know, animals have personalities. You know, you might have a dog if you're black. I mean, so look at your dog and say, now, there's an old saying among white people, and that is, white man first, dog next, and the N-word last.
Mm-hmm.
Every black person on the planet, when you wake up in the morning and go to bed at night, should see yourself in that frame of reference, whether you like it or not, because that's the way it is.
Okay, that's the way it is. Okay, let me make this announcement, Mr. Fuller. Mr. Fuller and myself, I was just told, and to all the callers, we're getting ready, this episode is getting ready to end. So what we have to do, you too, Mr. Fuller, as myself, we have to call back in to the radio, to the internet, and also on the blog talk to be reconnected with the show, because somehow it got messed up for 15-minute program, and we have a 2-hour window. It's getting ready to end now, so Mr. Fuller, you and I both have to hang up and then call back in. Callers, you have to do the same thing and then log back in to Blog Talk Radio to get the program again. So everybody on hold and all the people in the chat room, you're going to have to do it all over again. So I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to hang up, and then I'm going to call back in, and then you get back on Blog Talk, and we'll do it all over again. All right, thank you. So let's do it right now.
If you do not understand white supremacy, what it is, and how it works, everything else that you do understand will confuse you. In all of these 9 areas of activity, economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war, anywhere on the planet, minute by minute, day by day, all of the time, all of the time, all of the time.
All righty. Thank you for bearing with us. We had some technical, we're back on B-Sam. Justice Warrior, we had some technical difficulties, which I tried to explain in the first part of the show, but we're back on. Now, I am a little concerned because my clock is reading another 15 minutes, but I don't think that's the case here. But anyway, we'll go on. This is going to be part 2 of that. If you did not hear part 1, usually that's when Mr. Fuller has the thoughts and expressions. That is still up, so you can get that. This is part 2, at least according to what is on my screen here. So we will continue here, and thank you all, chatters. I think you're okay. Think you are okay. If not, just log back on to Blog Talk Radio. You know what to do. Blog Talk Radio, and then the Produce Justice show, and then of course the chat room, and then you'll be back on. And I'm looking at my screen, so we'll see. Wait a minute, see what's happening here. It looks like all that's in there. Constructive action items. Give me something so that I know you're still on. And while we're doing that, let's go to Cleo in Houston. Let me see if I can get you there, Cleo. Let's see here. Okay, Cleo, you're on with Mr. Fuller.
Good morning.
Good morning. Just a minute, Cleo. Thank you, Constructive Action. Okay, you're back. Okay, go ahead, Cleo. Thank you.
Long live NFJ and forever live Logic. Thank you, Mr. Bobby, for utilizing your gifts, talents, and abilities in partnership with Mr. NFJ in the weekly production of this very important life work. Thank you also to Moon Pie, Robert, Sharon, and the entire CRTS and Produce Justice team. I have a quick VGQ followed by a quick question for Mr. NFJ. My VGQ is the one-paragraph analysis of racism, white supremacy, as defined Give me a second.
You okay?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. That's all right. That's all right.
Calling me in, but I'm getting right back to it. Okay.
Okay.
My VGQ is the one-paragraph analysis of racism, white supremacy, as defined by Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. It is as follows. Racism, white supremacy, is a local and global power system and dynamic structured and maintained by persons who classify themselves as white, whether consciously or subconsciously determined, which consists of patterns of perception, logic, symbol formation, thoughts, speech, action, and emotional response as conducted simultaneously in all areas of people activity, economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war, for the ultimate purpose of white genetic survival and to prevent white genetic annihilation on planet Earth, a planet upon which the vast and overwhelming majority of people are classified as non-white, meaning black, brown, red, and yellow, by white-skinned people, and all of the non-white people are genetically dominant in terms of skin coloration compared to their genetically recessive white-skinned people. Now, my question this morning for Mr. Fuller is, considering the system of white supremacy, do you suspect a connection between the harm done to non-white people in the mass shooting of blacks in a grocery store in a predominantly black residential area in Buffalo, New York, and the mass shooting of Hispanics in an elementary school in a predominantly Hispanic residential area in Vivaldi, Texas, and the recent gun reform bill passed by President Biden, all in the same year of 2022? Thank you.
There's always a connection to everything in the universe. So the dominant factor, according to logic, compensatory logic, and counter-racist logic, is that you have a lot of death worship in the system of white supremacy, which is the world government, the worship of death. Most books that are printed every year are about death making, the making of death by whom? By people against other people. Most books, murder mysteries, go in any bookstore or turn on the television set right now and flip channels and hear, nonstop, 24 hours a day. Most television programs, I think, or at least half, are about people killing people.
Mm-hmm.
Either on battlefields or, murder mystery, who done it? And you look at a book and it says The Headless Corpse, and you'll see something going way back to in ancient days. Not really ancient, but books that are written way before, the books that are written now, when you pick them up and you walk in any bookstore, say for instance, and you have a book by maybe somebody named Graham Greene, and you look at it and it's got a title on it that says The Body in the Attic. Or you can go back and you'll find a detective named Sherlock Holmes, and it's all about creeping around trying to find out who killed whom. And then you have other books about what? War. You have movies all day long. Top Gun. All right? Top Gun. And the movie, even when it's not about killing, will be called a blockbuster. Now, where did the term blockbuster come from? It came from World War II, I think. That's where it originated, so-called World War II. We're still in a world war.
Yes.
The only one that really counts, the war about white supremacy against the non-white people of the planet. So all of it is connected, like the caller asked. Is there a connection? Oh, yes. Violence, worship violence, and particularly in the system of white supremacy, find some non-white people and commit violence against them, and not only that, teach them methodically to walk around all day thinking about doing nothing but doing violence themselves. And here in the northwestern hemisphere and other parts of the world, many people with black skins, huge numbers of them, are just walking around thinking about, I'm going to kill somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to definitely kill somebody that looks like me. Hey, too much time has passed. It's time for me to do some more killing of somebody that looks just like my brother or like my mother or like that no-good father that left me. I'm going to kill it. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill as many of them as I can. Black people are systematically taught that in the system of white supremacy. And white people are taught that. Somebody ought to kill them, even if I don't.
According to Fuller, white supremacy is the most powerful government and the most effective religion ever devised. It governs all non-white people globally, dominating them through deception and violence. He defines white supremacy as the organized behavior of white people as a collective, mistreating people classified as non-white for the benefit of those classified as white. He explains that what we often refer to as black culture is really a reaction to the dominant white culture, a culture that glorifies violence, conquest, and mistreatment of others. The very existence of black culture as a response proves which group holds power. The problem, Fuller argues, is not just mistreatment. It is the refusal to produce justice. He says justice means no one is mistreated and those who need the most help get the most constructive help. As long as the system of white supremacy exists, this standard of justice cannot be achieved. The ultimate goal, Fuller insists, must be the replacement of the system of white supremacy with a system of justice. Anything less is insufficient. It is illogical to claim that there are multiple equal systems operating when one clearly dominates all others. Hence the title, You Can't Have Two Heavyweight Champions. Neely Fuller Jr.'s message is a call for clarity, logic, and action. He demands that people, especially black people, begin to study the system that dominates them, not emotionally, but with strategic intent. To defeat the system of white supremacy, Fuller says, we must understand it completely and replace it with something better. That something better is a system where truth is the standard and justice is the result. Until then, we remain subject to the most refined form of domination the world has ever seen.